Hey there, and happy Saturday. Welcome back to Melody Loves Death Metal. I got a quick little video today. I don't usually upload on Saturdays, but I've got some time before I have to go off and do some family event stuff all weekend. But I got a record in yesterday and wanted to talk about it today and show it to you because the packaging is impressive, quite impressive. And I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. I've got to give my props to it. And I know that, back in the day, there's been other records that have done something similar, but whatever, it is what it is. It's still a really cool record. And what I'm talking about is the new End album, The Sin of Human Frailty. This came out October 27th on Closed Casket Activities. This is their second full-length album. Their first full-length came out back in 2020 during COVID, so this was a very much a COVID band for me. It was called Splinters from an Ever-Changing Face. That I showed that off on here a couple of times. I think I talked about it several times. But this is pretty much kind of one of those bands that I'm shocked I like it as much as I do, and it's not something that I typically would listen to a whole lot. But this album is I really like it. I don't know. There's something about it that I really enjoy about it, and it's not my normal cup of tea when it comes to metal music. But I've really gravitated towards this album. I really liked their first album, but I think I like this one slightly more. So the band is comprised of Will Putney, which I think you guys probably pretty much know who he is, but he's from that band Fit for an Autopsy, and he does a bunch of other things. Like, he's got a studio and he produces a ton of other bands, mostly like deathcore bands and stuff like that, and deathcore, hardcore. It's mostly in that scene. But this also has Brendan Murphy on the lead vocals, and if you're not familiar, he is also from Counterparts, which is like another hardcore band, metalcore, hardcore. I don't metallic hardcore. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. Which I've been a fan of them for a while too. So those are the two like known people in here. So it's a little bit of a super group, I guess you could say, but yeah, it's considered, I call this metallic hardcore, but this particular album also has a little bit of industrial there. There's a little bit of grindcore. There's a little bit of hardcore. It's all over the map. There's a lot of different elements on this album, so I don't necessarily know what to classify it as, so I'm just calling it metallic hardcore. Again, not a genre that I'm very familiar with, not a genre that I listen to a whole lot of. This is probably one of the few exceptions. So, as you can see, I've got the limited to 1,000 red with splatter. I don't know. There's tons of color variants. If you know Closed Casket Activities, you know that they press a bunch of different colors and then they reissue a lot. So if this particular one sells out, just wait, because there'll be more that'll be coming soon. They reissue their stuff all the time. But the vinyl is really cool looking. And it sounds really good. I've listened to this about 4 times now since I've gotten it yesterday. There's a lot of things about this album that I really enjoy, and there's a couple of things that I'm not a big fan of, but I let it pass because I do like the music as a whole. It's not something that completely deters me. So there are a couple of features on here. There is J.R. Hayes from Pig Destroyers on here, and then Dylan from Full of Hell is on here. Those are two, admittedly, of my favorite songs. And then I think there's somebody on Thaw. I can't remember who it was. Somebody who I wasn't familiar with. Harriet's Debbie Gow. I don't know who that band is. I don't know a lot of these bands. But this is all die cut. So yes, I can stick my finger inside this guy's body. And it looks like it could be possibly a slipcase, and that's what I thought it was. Immediately, I hadn't seen any of the unboxings or anything yet. And here's the back. But what this album does, it's pretty cool. I'll try to get it as best as I can on camera. I'm going to slide back and get this microphone out of the way here. But it opens up like this, okay? And there's some lyrics. And this is still die cut, okay? So the layers start to peel back, and then it goes this way. We're hitting impossible territory here. And then it goes down, and then up. And inside, that's where the record goes, but I've been keeping it outside of the jacket. but on every single panel is lyrics and liner notes in like a handwritten font, which looks pretty cool. So it opens up into this big, there we go. But each layer is pulled apart, and then you get to the inside, which is like a cavernous image, and then underneath here is where the jacket is, pretty much the inner sleeve for where the record was housed, but I'm not going to keep it like that. So, and to fold it back up, I don't really remember. I think it goes this way, and then this way, and then this way, and then this way. You can kind of, yep, I did it right. I did it right. All right. And you can kind of tell with how it looks on the outside if you folded it correctly. If you fold it incorrectly, it's not weird. It still works, but there is a better way of doing it. I don't know. But yeah, that is the jacket of the record. But again, it's not very hollow, so you won't crush the seams or anything like that when you store it. I've just been keeping it back like this because I'm not going to open that jacket every time to take this record out and play it. So pretty cool as a whole. In regards to the packaging, A+ on that, perfect 10 out of 10. But I will say a few of the gripes are, one, if you are a person that doesn't house your records like this in the poly bag, you're going to be really annoyed that you have to take it out like that every single time. However, I always store it in the poly bag like this for all of my records. It's just easy access to get it out when I'm listening. It comes in a really huge poly bag to fit the record, which is nice. Sometimes they put them in too snug. So yeah. But so that's the record. Let's talk about the music now. The music is, like I said, that metallic hardcore sound. There is a lot of really overproduced digitized guitars, and that is probably the one thing that I don't like about this album, is that Will Putney just went really in hard with producing these guitars, and you can tell they use a lot of plugins, and it's just super computerized sounding. It's not that normal, chunky, organic sounding guitar that I'm used to listening to in my music. But I get past that because I do like the songs. It's heavy and it's in your face and it's aggressive and it's got a lot of that grindcore sound that I really like on it. And then some of the songs have more of that like industrial electronic stuff going on, which I also really enjoy. The two favorite songs on here, or actually the three favorite songs on here, are the ones that have the guest vocals. There's Thaw. That song is awesome. And I don't remember what ones J.R. Hayes and Dylan were on. Admittedly, I haven't learned the song titles yet, but those two songs are also my favorite as well. I'm gonna look it up because you all are gonna be annoyed with me if I don't tell you the song names of what they're on, because the internet, you guys love calling out when I don't say things to your liking. Okay, so the song is, of course, on here. Additional vocal. Okay, so the song Twice Devoured Kill is the one with J.R. Hayes. That's an awesome song. And then Dylan Walker from Full of Hell is on Worthless is the Lamb. And then the other one that I said, Thaw, with Debbie Goo from Harriet's. I don't know who that is. I've never heard that band. Couldn't even tell you anything about them. Don't even know. Like I said, it was produced, mixed, and mastered by Will Putney at his Graphic Nature audio studio that he has. And then the artwork is done by Alex Ekman Lawn, and the layout Matthew Bradley. So the artwork is really, really cool. I do think it's pretty cool. And again, just that packaging as a whole is spectacular. But the music is really good. A Predator Yourself, the first song, is just like right there. You know exactly what you're going to get. It's a pretty quick listen. It's not a very long album by any means. I think it's about a little over 30 minutes. I can't remember. The longest song is the last song, which is Heater, Leper. Ooh, that's a heavy-ass song. It's 5 minutes. Very, very good song to end the album. But like I said, it's kind of strange that I like this album as much as I do, because it is not old-school death metal. It's not the death metal that I usually listen to, and it's very hardcore, it's metallic hardcore for the most part. But that industrial and that grindcore element to it, I really, really enjoy. It's heavy, it's very dark, and in your face. So it's a really good album, and surprised at how much I like it. And yeah, so that is all that I had today. I'd be interested if anybody else has heard this. I think it's definitely an acquired taste. I don't expect most of my viewers to like this album, although a lot of people have been coming into my private messages on Instagram, because I posted this yesterday out over there and talking about how they've actually really enjoyed it, and they were surprised. So the first album is very, very good, but I think this is a pretty good progression. I would say the guitars sound a little bit better on the first album. I'm not too sure what it is about these guitars. Maybe they're a little bit too slightly too deathcore sounding. Maybe that's why I'm not a huge fan of them. But I would say if I had to rate the album, I would give it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. You know, I like the album. I think it's really good, and I'll probably listen to it a lot. I'm sure I will. And A+ for the packaging. Pretty good stuff. So again, Closed Casket Activities. If you're not familiar, that is also where you can get all the Maggot Stomp releases. They're like a co-joining force now, and Closed Casket handles all of Maggot Stomp's shipping and everything, and orders and inventory and all that stuff. So there you go. That's your tidbit. That's my Saturday video. Lots more videos next week. I am off for 2 weeks of work starting on Tuesday, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm just doing a staycation, just taking a vacation, taking some, because I need to use it. I haven't used any of it this year. So I'm planning on just diving in and really honing in and making more videos for the YouTube channel. And yeah, that's all I have. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one.